What's up, guys? How you guys doing today? And welcome back to another YouTube video on my YouTube channel. Different video. It's been a year and a half, almost 2 years since I've done an interview. Yes, we're doing an interview. But this time we got one of my good friends from the Aberdeen Ironbirds, Michael Marcantonini, aka Aussie Mike, Iron Mike, Michael Marcantonini, and all that good stuff. Mike, how are we doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, man, looking forward to it. And yeah, shout out to you for throwing out all my nicknames there too.
I have to do the assignments. So just a little bit with a week into the off season for the Ironbirds, how you holding up and where are you at right now?
I mean, I'm doing well, man. Yeah, so I'm back in the Philadelphia area where I'm from, and yeah, I mean, things are going well. I towards the once we were towards the end of the Ironbird season, it was I was, it's always a little bittersweet when a season ends. I think everybody's always ready for a break, but the way the Ironbirds were playing and the rhythm I was in calling games, I didn't want the season to end, but now, just adjusting to the off season life, and it's tough, when I'm in a baseball mode for 6 months and then the season ends.
Yeah,
It's kind of like, yo, what do I do with my life now? So, but yeah, no, things are going well.
good. I'm glad. I'm basically ready for the O's in the postseason. As we're recording this, yesterday they clinched the playoffs, so we're ready to have a party in Birdland, like what you said when the Ironbirds went to their first championship round last year.
Yeah, man, it's exciting what the Orioles are doing. It's pretty crazy to think like that they lost over 100 games 2 years ago, and now they're in the playoffs. Could be the number one seed in the American League. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, before we get this party started, I ask you guys to please hit the subscribe button if you're new to post notifications so you won't miss any future content. After this, we're gonna have a party with some hockey vlogs. We're going to have a good party. First video will be the Hershey Bears home opener when they raise the Calder Cup banner, and I got a reservation to hang up on the wall right next to the Cap Stanley Cup banner. So we're gonna get this good, and we'll put Mike's social medias in the description as well. So we're every time when I do interviews, it's been a while. Bear with me. We're gonna do a warm-up question. So Mike, like you said, you're from the Philly area.
Yep.
What's your favorite Philly athlete growing up and why?
Oh man, I had a bunch of favorite Philly athletes. It's really tough to pick one, but baseball's always been my favorite sport. That's the sport I played growing up, and it's a sport that I've watched and followed the most my whole life. So I had a handful of favorite Phillies. My all-time favorite Philly is Cole Hamels, and
Yeah.
just a huge fan of him. One of the biggest reasons I liked him was that he was so consistent. He was clutch. He came up in big moments for them, helped the Phillies win that 2008 World Series. I was in eighth grade when the Phils won it all the
Oh
last time.
wow.
Yeah,
I was like
Jimmy.
3 years old.
Yeah, I'm old, man. Yeah, Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard. That trio. I mean, they're gonna go down in history as the three of the easily top 10 players in the team's history. I was a big Carlos Ruiz fan because I played catcher growing up, so I
Oh
always
wow.
admired him. What he did defensively and how he controlled a pitching staff. Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, big fans of those guys.
Hmm.
Other sports, obviously Allen Iverson. Obviously being a
The
Philly
big
guy,
ticket. Yeah.
basketball wise. Yeah, football. Huge LaShawn McCoy fan. Brent Selleck, big fan of those guys. And didn't follow hockey too much. I know that's your sport, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say those are some of my favorite Philly athletes growing up.
Yeah. For me, like mine, like baseball growing up was Roy Halladay because my first MLB video game was the Nintendo DS MLB 2K11.
Okay.
The who was like my favorite player, and kind of like what you said, and I feel old because I'm about to do the Adam Jones YouTube video soon. Um, so like 2010, 2011 was my peak of like following baseball. Roy Halladay, Jason Worth,
Okay. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. J Dub.
Carlos Ruiz, Rollins, Howard, and then like football didn't like really like follow like football only follow like the Ravens. Like McCoy and that new Jason Kelsey right now. And like hockey, I'd say like Travis Konechny and
Mhm.
Konechny, Provorov, he's in Columbus, and right now it'll be Matvey Mishkov when he hits to the NHL soon. Um, Second question. Right now you're a broadcaster. How did broadcasting has been such a huge life out of you, and how did it all start?
So I got involved in sports broadcasting really early. So I went to a sports broadcasting camp starting when I was 10 years old. And that's where I, really got interested in it, kind of got a feel for, what it was like to broadcast and be involved in sports media in some way. So ever since I went to that camp, I kept going back summer after summer and just kind of, that fueled my passion more and more every year. And, pursued it, did stuff through high school, college, and by the time I was in high school, I knew that I wanted to pursue it, full time, pursue a career in sports broadcasting, and just got involved every way that I could, doing the TV announcements at my high school, writing for the student newspaper, calling the football and basketball games during the school year, and yeah, then in college, just did my own radio show. Called play by play for a bunch of different sports at Penn State, did some on camera TV stuff. And then, by the time I was a senior in college, I knew I wanted to pursue play by play in baseball. And then just, tried to see what was out there, got my first opportunity, and then just kind of kept it going from there and just been working my way up. So, yeah, I knew pretty early that I wanted to get involved in broadcasting. And yeah, I mean, it shaped my life in a lot of ways. I mean, I've lived in 5 different states and another country because of
Yeah,
sports
which
broadcasting.
we will get to. We will get to that.
So it's pretty cool to see where it's taken me.
Hmm. And you kind of answered the question that I was about to ask you. So you studied in Penn State. What did you study? Which I think you basically answered your question. And why did you pick Penn State, and how did you enjoy Penn State?
Yeah, so I was a broadcast journalism major at Penn State. So I was in the College of Communications, and within the journalism major, I picked the broadcasting track. So yeah, I mean, I just took it upon myself to just get involved in as much as I could, extracurricular stuff outside of classes, but also making sure I was doing as much as I could in classes, learning from my professors, and just kind of making sure I got involved as many ways as I could. So broadcast journalism major, and Penn State just it was. I think I got to a point where I think it got to a point where it had Penn State had everything that I wanted. So I started out college at St. Joe's University in the Philly area. Went there for 3 semesters, and it just wasn't the right fit for me. I kind of outgrew the opportunities within broadcasting there, and by that time, I knew that Penn State was where I wanted to be. I had a bunch of friends there. I had heard good things, and I had been there before, and liked the experiences that I had. So I
Yeah.
think it just fit what I was looking for. A big Division I school with a lot of broadcasting opportunities because there's 31 men's and women's D1 sports up there combined. So
Yeah.
just a ton of opportunities to get involved, and that's kind of what led me to Penn State. And it was definitely it's up there with one of the best decisions I've ever made, going to Penn State for sure.
Good. Good. I'm glad that you enjoyed. Like for me, I'm going to Hartford Community College. I'm in like my third or fourth week, I think. Third week probably. And I'm doing accounting as my major, and then the following year I'm going to Towson to do sports management. So it's things are going well for me in college. So I cannot complain about it.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely, man. No, I mean I think you're doing the right thing in terms of you know what you want, and you're going after it.
Yeah. Well, I was planning to do to like play like hockey, and let's just say many like injury histories while playing with it. So
Yeah, I hear you, man.
now let's get to the real party.
Let's get it going.
All right, cool. So your YouTube series, all mic'd up, pretty much a well-known um show for you. You've done with like many Ironbirds guys this year, like Jackson Holiday, who's really in AAA right now. Um, Judd Fabian, Max Wagner, Creed Willems, Dean Hammer, guys like that. How did you start with the series? Like the name and the outcome of the series. So when I say outcome, like why like baseball only? Like what was going to be the meaning of this series?
Right. So all mic'd up, the name came from the radio show that I had when I was a freshman in college. When I first got on the air in college, I had my own show and I called it All Mic'd Up and just kind of rolled with it. And then I didn't really use that term after my freshman year. I didn't, use that name again until after I graduated college. I was broadcasting in the Northwoods League, a summer collegiate wood bat league for a lot of the top prospects in the country. And I started an on-camera interview series with players and coaches. So I did that out there, brought the name All Mic'd Up back for the interviews. And then yeah, again, went through a bunch of years where I didn't use it, wasn't doing as many on-camera interviews with guys. And then this year with the Ironbirds, I really wanted to get back to doing that, get myself some more on-camera reps, practice my interviewing skills and being in front of the camera. And also I wanted to share the stories of our players and get that stuff out there and put more content out there for Ironbirds fans and the families of players, of course. So it was
Yeah,
a win-win situation. I think it made sense on both sides. And it was just really fun to do that. So obviously, of course, I'm going to bring the name All Mic'd Up back. It just fit. So
yeah,
it was a lot of fun. I mean, honestly, calling play-by-play in professional baseball is the highlight of my career so far. I've been able to do it in
absolutely.
4 different seasons, but I will say just doing the All Mic'd Up series this year, that was a ton of fun. I was always energized to do those interviews. I put in a lot of prep work before them, and I think the
Yeah.
guys really enjoyed them too. So, yeah, I was really happy with how that turned out.
Yeah, I think just like watching, I've watched like I watched like every single video when started like watching your YouTube when Jackson Holiday was out.
Okay.
Because like I'd say like Jackson Holiday was like my favorite like episode this year because you were like talking about his father Matt Holiday and like the switching roles of
Right,
like
right.
when Jackson was a kid watching his dad. Now the father is now watching Jackson, and now Ethan, who's the 2025 MLB draft eligible. So it will be awesome to see two kids playing pro ball soon. And I noticed that you got like a ton of like Penn State and Philly guys onto your show, which felt like it was a lot of cool.
Yeah, we had to. I mean, well, first with the Jackson one, I mean, that one was a lot of fun, just getting a chance to sit down and do an interview with him. And he's a guy, I mean, that guy does 2, 3 interviews a day sometimes. He's getting interviewed all the time. Whatever media outlets out there covering baseball, everybody wants a piece of Jackson. And I get it, top prospect, dad playing the big leagues. I mean, he's going to be in the big leagues next year at 20 years old. I mean, I get why everybody wants to interview him. But for me, when I sat down to do All Mic'd Up with him, it was really cool because at least from my perspective, I felt like I got a chance to ask him a lot of questions that he doesn't normally get because the point of All Mic'd Up is not to ask guys, what's your approach at the plate right now? What are you seeing up there?
Yeah,
Things like that. That's not what I'm looking for. I kind of wanted to push the baseball stuff aside and kind of get to know these guys and show who they are off the field. So I'm asking Jackson, all these guys about, what kind of foods they like to eat, what their routine is, off the
yeah.
field. What kind of music they listen to, asking them about their teammates. So cool things like that. And so it was fun talking to Jackson. And I mean, I've got fatheads, like they've got the big fatheads that you stick on the wall, and then they've got smaller ones, and then they've got like these tradable size. Honestly, I'm showing my
I
age
think
with these because
I
fatheads
think
aren't as big anymore.
I one I think are you talking about like the cardboard because one
Nah,
of
see,
my
like
friends.
that's yeah, that's what I'm talking about with a fathead.
Oh, I used to
Yeah,
have I used to have that, but it was like small. It was like with like hockey logos
right.
and
So the point with that is, so I have a mini size one of Matt Holliday on my wall. So, and
yeah,
it's cool all these years later, Matt Holliday was always a player I admired and, watched him growing up. And then I'm, calling his son's games a bunch of years later. So that was pretty cool. And then obviously I had to get, the Philly guys on all mic'd up at some point and, talk about that connection. So it was a really fun series.
hmm yeah, and a fun one. So obviously you were part of like uh, play by play camps for quite a long time. You were as the counselor of the camp. So how long were you in play-by-play camps? What's the camp all about for those who don't know? And what is it like being a counselor for the camp and what do you do as a counselor?
Yeah, so I went to the camps for 8 summers. I went 8 straight summers and just it was so much fun. Just wanted to go back every year. And then over the last few years, I've had the opportunity to go back and work as a counselor for the camps, where I'm, counselor instructor. I'm teaching sports broadcasting to kids in, small group settings, and
Yeah.
sometimes we even do virtual lessons online. But it's cool. I mean, it's I'm teaching sports broadcasting, but it's camp, not school. Like we're doing it in a fun way. We're having fun with it. We're
Yeah.
making activities out of it and all that. So yeah, I mean, we basically with the camps get kids who are interested in sports. Some may be interested in sports broadcasting, some may just like sports in general. We
Yeah.
kind of teach them about all different aspects of sports media and broadcasting. So we'll have them do sample TV shows, radio shows, podcasts,
Yeah.
sports debate type stuff,
Huh.
and fun
Yeah.
games. So I mean, they do them on camera, they record them all, and we have guest speakers throughout the week. We'll have broadcasters or
Yeah.
athletes that they'll do mock press conferences with. So it's really cool. We go to games throughout the week. It's the camps are during the summer, so it's baseball season. So with pretty much every camp they have in all the different cities, we go to like a baseball game or like a soccer game at night, or do like a tour of some type of um, sports facility. So the camps are awesome, and yeah, I mean it's definitely full circle for me, having gone to the camps for so many years, and that's where I got my start in broadcasting and interest in it. And now I get to pay it forward and be on the other side where I'm teaching the campers. So it's really cool. And I've made some of my best friends I made through that camp, and some of
Hmm.
the kids that I'm able to mentor these days, staying in touch with them. It's been really cool to, I don't know how much of a difference I'm making sometimes, but I
Yeah.
know I'm making at least a small difference in some of these kids' lives, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool.
Yeah. I one time that definitely a guy you would know. During like the COVID year, I had like an internship with Sportscaster. Used to be like a broadcasting website at the time, and a few guys who were doing like play-by-play camps there, like Jack Morgan, Philly guy, shout out
Hmm.
to him. Um, Grant Flood, Sam Reese, Sam Fetterman, who are in the Massachusetts area, and Isaac Elman, who's from the Florida area. We all did like a group of having like an internship down for Sportscaster for the whole summer. We had to do like articles and like broadcast do like a show or like whatever topic like three days a week. So it was a lot of fun. I kind of like wanted to during like COVID. I was just like because like just like COVID literally took a huge toll
Yeah,
like
man.
mentally wise.
Yeah,
Um,
and on everybody, I think.
yeah, but I'm glad that everybody went through, had a good time doing whatever they love, and I guess it's a win-win. So so you went to the MLB Winters meeting. How was that experience like to experience a popular off-season event in the MLB?
Yeah, so I've been to the winter meetings on two separate occasions. So I went to the one in Orlando, Florida in 2017, and then Las Vegas in 2018. And the winter meetings are great because it gives really everybody in the baseball industry, whether you're currently working in it or trying to get into it, doesn't matter what your role is, broadcaster, if you're on the business side of things, whatever, gives everybody a chance to connect in one place and network at a time where they have them in the off season, they have them into December, so it's downtime for baseball. So everybody gets a chance to connect, and whether you're trying to get into baseball, you're already in baseball and looking to move up. It's a good networking opportunity. It's good to just kind of get your face and name out there, and that's what I did for a couple winters. And both times I went, I never got a job directly from going to those winter meetings, but I've had interviews out there, just connecting, passing business cards with people, talking to people, and connecting on
Yeah,
social media. It's just a good way to at least when you're starting out, get in front of people and tell people who you are, tell people what you want to do and where you want to go. So yeah, I mean, and it's always fun to just connect with people that you haven't seen in months or years, and just
yeah,
kind of bond over a common interest of baseball.
yeah, and I would say like MLB like winter meetings is kind of like a that's why I say a popular off-season event because like there's like nothing there other than free agency.
Right.
Okay, and I should have grabbed my Altoona curve pad, which I will get to. So basically, you were I'm basically gonna edit it out with me walking on the other side of my room. Okay, so you started out broadcasting with the Altoona Curve, double A with the Pittsburgh Pirates. How did you start out with Altoona, and what did you like about being the voice of the Curve?
So I was in Altoona in 2019. That was my second year in professional baseball. I was with the York Revolution in 2018 and then Altoona, and I was the number two broadcaster there, and it was great calling games there. I mean, I still tell people to this day that, just the chance to get into affiliated professional baseball and do it at the double A level at, what was I, 22 that year, 22 turning 23.
Hmm.
It was cool. It was the first time I had experienced anything like that, to see how all these major league franchises operate at the minor league level, what they're doing in their pipeline. So just the chance to get on air. I did play by play in the middle innings for the Curve. So to get 3 innings of play by play on MILB TV and local radio every night for all the home games, that was great exposure for me. And I think um, I really got a lot of name recognition and notoriety from that, because people started to know who I was and kind of take note of my skills as a broadcaster and who I was as a person.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was beneficial to be there. And there's still people that I talk to pretty regularly from Altoona. One guy that I worked with out there, shout out to my guy Zach Page. He worked in he did like facility operations and stuff with the team. And so, we're on the same age. We both went out there, unfamiliar with the area. And we became really good friends and still talk to him nowadays. And just a good baseball guy. We used to go hit when the team was on the road. We'd take our lunch break and go hit in the batting cage down
Hmm.
next to the clubhouse. So always loved doing that with Zach, getting some cuts in.
Mhm.
And then shout out to my guy Jay Staff, who is a good amount younger than me. He's in high school now, but when I was in Altoona, he was like just starting out in middle school. But him and his family, season ticket holders, got to meet them and connect with them, and Jay and I have stayed in touch ever since. So those are two really cool connections that I'm happy with.
Kind of like we are for like Aberdeen,
Yeah,
basically.
so I mean, the job part is one thing with it, but the people you meet along the way and the relationships you build, whether it's with people you work with or just fans or whoever, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And kind of like taking a little shift onto the right hand side. So you broadcasted in Australia. Kind of noticed that you got your Melbourne uh flask with you. What was the difference between broadcasting in America to broadcasting in Australia?
Yeah, shout out to my Aces, the Melbourne Aces. So there weren't a ton of differences. Basically, the team that I worked for, they bring out broadcasters from the US every year to do their broadcasts, because they want people who are, more familiar with baseball and have worked in it longer to, come out and do their broadcasts. So I was out there. It was me and one other broadcaster. Shout out to my guy Josh Sperber, who was an awesome broadcast partner and even better friend. He's an even better friend now. But yeah, I mean, everything's the same out there. I think the way we call a game, that's the same. I think just the style of play and just the league is a little more relaxed, because for the guys that come over from the United States to play in the ABL, that's winter ball for them, because they
Yeah,
they go over there because it's the summer in Australia. So it's winter ball for those guys. I mean, they're just there to get some reps in, get better and have some fun and explore another country, just like I was. So I think it's a little more laid back. The environment's definitely a little different, but still, there's passionate fans over there, even though baseball's not as big as is in the States. But from a broadcasting perspective, very, very similar style of how the broadcast goes and all that.
yeah. And other than baseball, what sports do you broadcast, and how do you enjoy broadcasting different sports?
So my second favorite sport to broadcast is basketball. I love doing college basketball, and I haven't done a ton of it. I did some in college at Penn State, and then two or yeah, I guess at this point, 2 winters ago, the end of 2021 into 2022,
Yeah.
I was calling games for a D2 school down in Florida. So got a chance to do basketball again, men's and women's. And I just love it. I mean, it's fast paced and it's a big difference from baseball, but and while baseball's the sport I love the most and I think that I'm best at broadcasting because I've had the most reps at it, I really do love doing basketball. It gives me a chance to um, you know, deal with a different flow, a different pace, a different
Yeah,
style of play, and just a chance to, talk about and call games in a sport that, I also love. Basketball's always been my second favorite sport. So I love doing college basketball. And then I did football, a little bit of football in college. I've done soccer, I've done volleyball, I've done lacrosse. And next week I got a field hockey game that I'm doing. So
oh
I mean,
good.
I'm just I'm bouncing all around and just kind of trying to show off my versatility and get a feel for doing different sports on a regular basis. But basketball definitely my second favorite to do.
Good. And let's see here. All right. So you're currently broadcasting. Now we're going to the Ironbirds and Orioles perspective here. So you're currently broadcasting with the Ironbirds, second year, first full year. How are you enjoying it currently now? I bet that you are having a good time in Aberdeen this year.
Yeah, I mean, last year when I started, I came aboard in late August and got to call the final 11 regular season games and then the four postseason home games. And it was awesome. I mean, it was a thrill. I mean, getting to step into a situation where the team had already clinched a playoff spot, knowing they were going to the playoffs, then they made a deep run, came within one win of a championship. It was just really
Yeah,
cool to be a part of that and come in at that time of year. But I mean, this year by far the best year of my career. And I actually had another minor league baseball broadcasting offer going into this season that I turned down because I just really wanted to be back in Aberdeen. I felt that um, the job with Aberdeen versus the other offer, felt that going back to the Ironbirds was best for me, both professionally and personally. Just to be close to my family in the Philly area. But
yeah,
I wanted
yeah,
to finish. I wanted to pick up where I left off at the end of last year. I wanted to keep it going. I wanted to build on what I started there, and it's been awesome working with the Ironbirds. I mean, the front office is awesome. They've created a really welcoming and wholesome working environment, which is
yeah,
something that you don't get everywhere in minor league baseball. I mean, it's a grind of a lifestyle, and most front offices, or at least I should say some front offices, don't operate as smoothly as the Ironbirds do. I mean, I think they really take into account that we're people working in these jobs. We're not machines or robots. We
yeah,
need time off. We need a break. It's not go 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 all the time. So the environment that the front office has created has been awesome. Um, I'm always encouraged to do more with the broadcast stuff. Like if I want to do something, they're like, yeah, do it. Let's do it. KJ, Kevin Jimenez, our creative services director with the Ironbirds, I pitch him an idea. He's like, all right, let's do it. This is how we can do it, or this is how I can help you with it. And that's been awesome for me. He encourages me, pushes me, he gives me constructive criticism on how to get better doing what I'm doing. And that's been awesome. And then the players and coaches. I mean, it's been so awesome working with those guys. I mean, manager Roberto Mercado, he's awesome. The players that have come through. I mean, everybody's been so open to doing interviews and just kind of chatting around the batting cage. So I made the right decision coming back, and I'm just looking to keep rolling with it. Down in the Dean.
yeah. And I got this notification said I have like 10 minutes left, but we'll try get this smoothly as possible. So so I know like when we like have our talks like beforehand, you usually say that you do like warm up for like broadcasting stuff. So like what do you do like doing like your warm up for like broadcasting?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just like prep work.
Yeah,
Like it's like I'm filling out my scorebook. I'm making sure I have all my notes and stats and storylines written down in there. I pull up a bunch of tabs on my computer. I've got stuff on the pitchers, season stats. Last 10 or last 15. I got the game cast up that I'm looking at. Make sure I get my dinner in there. Got to be fueled for the broadcast. Make sure my notes are ready for the pregame show, and then yeah, I mean, I'm just make sure I'm hydrated and I drink a lot of tea with lemon and honey pretty much every day during the season to keep my voice, in shape and
yeah,
make sure I'm good to go with that. So making sure I drink a lot of body armor, make sure I got my electrolytes up and yeah, always make sure I'm, hydrated enough. So that's kind of like the pregame routine.
Yeah. So I'll throw it with three more questions to want it on a good note. Air show for the Ironbirds. For those haven't been to an Ironbirds game before. So air show, you, Ray, Stash, or the Iron Maiden. What do you do for those who don't know the air show for the Ironbirds?
Yeah, the air show is basically a pregame show for the broadcast, and we do it live in the stadium. They throw it up. We're on camera, and they throw it up on the scoreboard, and then our sound goes out on the PA system, so you can hear us all throughout the ballpark. And the main reason we do the air show, it's for the fans. Whether you're in the ballpark or watching on the MILB stream or Facebook Live at home, just want to, it's a quick 5-minute show where Ray and I kind of go back and forth, have some fun, joke about what's going on, talk about the good things going on with the team, and kind of get everybody excited for the game. So we'll do like a recap of what happened the night before. I try to do a player spotlight every night, just another
Yeah,
opportunity to talk more about the guys in Aberdeen, talk about somebody new every game, just to, don't want people to be left out. I mean, there's so many guys, coming throughout the season. I kind of want to, tell their stories and talk about their successes and, just make sure people know who they are. And then we do a couple keys to the game and, we
yeah,
have fun with it. But the air show, I mean, the biggest thing with that is we do it for the fans. And it's always a great way to get things started for the broadcast that night. It always helps me doing the air show because then I lock in for the actual broadcast.
absolutely. Um, two more like short answer a little bit. MLB demo broadcast for the O's and Reds. Great, honestly, great series with the O's and Reds. What was it like doing a demo broadcast?
That was really cool. I mean, shout out to the Orioles PR department for hooking me up and, setting that situation up. But yeah, I mean, I was basically doing everything that the broadcasters for the Orioles do, but my broadcast just wasn't going out over the air anywhere. I recorded it into my computer. But that's, what a demo broadcast is. It was a chance to get reps, chance to call a game, get some big league broadcast reps,
Yeah,
from a big league ballpark. And it was really cool. I mean, the O's won 10-3 the night I was there, so a lot of action to call, and it was just really fun atmosphere to be a part of. Getting to call first place team, and yeah, I mean, it was Camden Yards has always been my favorite ballpark, and it just so happens now that I'm working in the Orioles organization for one of their minor league teams, and getting a chance to not only call Ironbirds games but get to call an Orioles game.
yeah,
I can say I called a major league game from a major league stadium. It wasn't live, and someday the plan is to, the goal is to get paid to do it for a team. But it was a cool to get that opportunity and just kind of get my name and face out there in front of a lot of Orioles people, which was really cool.
mhm. Okay, and last question. Unfortunately, we're about to run out of time. Um, Last question. It's pretty much what everyone always does. What is your advice for future generations of broadcasters?
Ooh, that's good. I've actually had a few people ask me something similar over the last few months, especially with the camps, working with the kids. But yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is like don't lose sight of why you do it or like why you got into it in the first place. Like I'm so passionate about baseball and I'm so passionate about broadcasting and the fact that I can do them together and call games in professional baseball and the fact that this was my fourth season doing it in pro baseball and the fact that I've lived in 5 different states and another country, I've really tried ever since the pandemic, which took a lot of opportunities away from me. I've really
Mhm.
tried to every day like think about like where I am, be present, stay in the moment, enjoying the journey, and I've really made an effort to show gratitude for the opportunities that I've gotten. I mean, every single day I get to call a game in Aberdeen or wherever it is, I'm thankful that I get to do it. And I take some time to think like, wow, like this is cool. Like this is what I dreamed of doing when I was 10 years old. Whereas maybe earlier in my career, I think I was kind of always focused on what was next. Keep going, keep getting to the top. What this is cool that I'm doing now, but what's next? But I wasn't taking the time to appreciate, what I was doing. But then, once COVID hit, I think that changed a lot of people's perspectives on life. And it definitely did for me. And, I went through a lot of ups and downs in my career, a lot of downs over the 3 years prior to joining the Ironbirds. And, I think everything that happened in my life and career has made me appreciate, the fact that I get paid to broadcast professional baseball games. So I'd say don't lose sight of why you got into it. If it's fun and you're passionate about it, ride that wave.
Yeah. Keep going.
Don't worry about what's coming next. Kind of enjoy what's in front of you, and that's what's led to a lot of success in my career. A couple other things that I always tell people, like you, take care of your mental health. I mean, I'm a huge
Yeah.
advocate for mental health, especially because of the struggles that I went through before joining the Ironbirds. And as soon as I started to prioritize my mental health, my career took off and turned around for the better. And it's not a coincidence. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am right now if I hadn't prioritized my mental health and kind of taken a step back to focus on that. And
Mhm.
that's another reason why I'm so grateful and proud of how far I've come, and my confidence skyrocketed once I kind of got my mental health under control. So I'd say prioritize that. A lot of people in this industry will tell young aspiring broadcasters say yes to everything. Now,
Yeah.
I know I'm in the minority when I say that I don't really agree to that. I don't really agree with that. I wouldn't tell somebody just because there's an opportunity out there, say yes just because. Look, if it's in an if you got to go somewhere you don't want to be, if you've got other stuff going on in your life, if whatever circumstances are going on in your life, don't feel like you got to say yes just because there's one opportunity in front of you with the mindset that there's not going to be another one. Don't go in desperation mode saying that, all right, there's one right now. I don't know if it's 100% for me. I don't know if it's the best opportunity, but I got to take it just because there's nothing else there. I've been burned by that mindset in the past. So I'll
Hmm.
tell people, like, yeah, I mean, more often than not, if you've got an opportunity in front of you, say yes. But if there's really something that, down the road, it may not be the right spot for you, or it's just not the right fit for whatever you got going on in your life, then
Yeah.
don't feel like you have to say yes just to do it. There's going to be more opportunities, and the right one's going to come up at the right time. Timing's huge. And for so many years, you know, I was a victim of bad timing, and then things
Yeah.
started to fall into place, and
Same
uh,
for me, honestly.
things have been good. So that's kind of, I know that was a lot, but that's kind of where
Yeah.
my advice for younger aspiring broadcasters now.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're pretty much have a minute left, so I'm basically gonna do my outro on a separate video. But Mike, I appreciate you taking the time. Yeah, I know it's long. I wish I would ask more questions, but overall, I appreciate you for stopping by, and I'll definitely see you at some point soon at Ripken.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, thanks for having me, Alex. It was awesome talking baseball and broadcasting, and always open to doing another one. And hope, yeah, we'll definitely talk soon, my man.
All right, we'll do, and I'll do the outro right now. And thank you, Mike, for joining with us today.